What's going on, everybody? You listen to the I Test Football Podcast, a football podcast by fans, for fans. I'm Stan Olson, sitting next to Cody Potter. And today we're going to start doing our divisional draft recaps. We're going to go division by division, team by team, and give a quick rundown of the picks and the players, and give a little brief analysis per team, and then give a grade for them. And then we're going to stack all four teams per division, one by one, and see how they line up with each other, and maybe give a little order. And maybe we might do like little winners and losers and good fits, and it's not that complicated. I mean, it's just we're going to start with the AFC South.
Yeah, we're going to put it out there.
We're going to start with the AFC South. We figure that's a good place to start since Jacksonville did have the first overall pick, and I think that's a good place to start.
Houston would have had the third. But yeah, so here we go. So we're going to start with Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence. Again, I'm getting kind of tired of talking about Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, what we'll do is I'll run here. Jacksonville got Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne in the first round, Tyson Campbell and Walker Little in the second round, safety Andre Sisco from Syracuse in the third,
Jay Tufele.
Yep.
In the fourth,
and Jordan Smith from UAB.
Yep.
Luke Farrell, tight end, Ohio State. Jalen Camp, wide receiver, Georgia Tech, and Michael Strachan. Big body wide receiver from Charleston. Those were.
Just from my initial looking at this, just looking at these names, man, this is a very diverse class.
Yeah, they got a lot of names. They definitely looking down the list. I didn't have to double check anyone's first name or anything. I definitely knew all the names. They're good players. I'm not sure if they're the names that I would be getting at
each of those picks
at the positions too.
We definitely did our round one thing. I think we pretty much both liked the top picks. We both, agreed that they got value on their top picks.
For me, looking at this draft board for them, where I raise my eyebrows is when I see Tyson Campbell and Walker Little in the second round. I think there are a lot better players to be had at those positions. I don't take Tyson Campbell if you have a Asante Samuel, Elijah Molden on the board, especially if they said that they want to play Tyson Campbell in the slot.
For pick 33, there's no way I'm going Tyson Campbell.
But Tyson Campbell did have some buzz at the end.
He's got measurables, and there's always, you're always going to take a guy who has measurables and traits, and he's a good tackler. He's going to be a solid player.
I'm not going to draft a corner whose best asset is tackling.
I agree with that.
Especially at pick 33.
Right. I was about to say. That's a good depth guy. To be fair about Tyson Campbell, I think neither of us are high on him. So this is not going to be the Tyson Campbell roast or the roast of Tyson Campbell. We won't have Flavor Flav out here. We're not going to chop and screw this guy all the way.
Okay.
But I agree. At pick 33, I'm going a lot of different directions, and Tyson Campbell is not the direction that I'm going with that pick.
What do you think about Etienne, second first-round pick?
I love it. I'd love
even with Robinson in the backfield, 1,000-yard UDFA rusher.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I stand by this a lot of times that they have a pretty solid offensive line. So it's not like what I would have typically thought to do, kind of like what the Jets did, getting Elijah Vera-Tucker to get some inside, protection to keep pressure out of his face and keep a clean pocket, room for him to step forward. That's typically what I would, generally address when you're on a bad team picking early for a quarterback. But they didn't need that. I don't think they needed the guard. There wasn't probably a guard worth taking other than maybe Wyatt Davis. Which we were clearly higher on him than where he went. But that's typically, just because we say we were higher on him, guards do have that round 3 threshold. Where if they get mentioned in the first round, they typically will be gone by the third round. It doesn't mean anything less. It's just a position that doesn't get valued like that. And there was a lot of pass catchers. It was weird off season.
Right.
So I like the ETN thing because honestly, man, they have a running back that showed out. He went undrafted for a reason. So Alfred Morris had a great season, as a rookie and started to tail off. I'm not saying that's what he's going to do. I just Travis Etienne is a special back to me. I've said it time and time again that he was the best player on Clemson's roster, and it's nothing against Trevor Lawrence. It's just when I watched the tape, man, Clemson didn't lose a step with a freshman quarterback last year.
Right.
And that was, Travis Etienne, he's a beast, man. You can scheme running backs out of the game, but he was always effective in those games. Even, not putting up the numbers. He still did work, was still pass blocking. He still does his things. He's still a weapon. He's still somebody you got to account for in the passing game.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I like the Etienne pick. When it comes to skill, I think he's there. I think that's a great pick for him. I think that I think he is within the 24 players of the classes when it comes to my rankings. So, when it comes to BPA, I think it's a good fit. But
I think it was a comfort thing too.
Could be. Definitely. I agree. And I would be a lot more okay with that pick if they wouldn't have taken so many shots with their day 2 picks. Walker Little hasn't played football in 2 years.
No.
Andre Cisco didn't play last year. J2 Fele, I don't think, played last year.
Nope. No, this is, I think, where the discussion really gets interesting.
Yeah,
I don't think it was the Travis Etienne thing for me.
No, I like Etienne. I like the pick.
I think what you're getting to is about kind of what I was thinking about when I was looking at this board. Is I'm looking at Tyson Campbell, Walker Little, Andre Cisco, Tufele. It's not until I really get down to Jordan Smith. Now, I love Tufele.
And they did not take any small school guys high.
No, honestly, they didn't take really any.
UAB,
except for Jordan Smith.
Charleston's definitely small school.
They
didn't take any day 1 or 2 small school players. There was
value at the small schools. I think positions that they addressed with names from bigger programs.
Yeah.
And you got to think. Urban Meyer he's clearly recruited a bunch of these guys. In recent memory. So he's got some inside track on these. Of course, he has a relationship with college coaches. So of course, he's probably going to stay true to the bigger schools, safer picks in his mind.
Right.
Less, developing time to more, he's hoping instant impact. Which honestly, Walker Little. We're talking about a heck of a prospect.
Absolutely.
If if we're setting injuries aside, of course, when we rank our players, we factor in that.
There. He's a good player.
6'7", 300 and some 320. What?
I think 320.
Yeah, that's a big guy, man. Andre Cisco.
That's an interesting pick.
All world talent. Not my brand of player. Range for days, man, but he is soft in the tackling game, and that is something that I just can't When I think about my last line defender, man, I need you to tackle.
My thought about Andre Cisco is early in the process of scouting this class, I was very high on him, but once I started really watching other safeties this year and realizing
how good this class was.
I don't know how if you liked Tyson Campbell, if you wanted to go defensive back, and I know I said I wouldn't talk about Tyson Campbell anymore, but if they would have just went Richie Grant and not gone Andre Cisco in the 3rd round,
right? You almost could have had the best of both worlds with the Richie Grant pick. You really could have had a nickel corner where I'm assuming Tyson Campbell probably starts
because you got Henderson and Shaq.
Shaquille Griffin.
Shaq Griffin.
Yeah, my thing about Tyson Campbell is I'm not very high on him. Again, not going to knock him. I just kind of like you said, Richie Grant. Honestly, there's just so many names that I could have really, thought about taking over all these guys. And for me, okay, when we're talking about safety, safeties really talented safeties start to get picked around the 3rd round. 2nd round is usually a 1st round kind of talent, with maybe just not the all world ability. Really good instincts and stuff, or 2nd round, lower 1st round players, kind of in that Winfield category. You start to get the end of the 1st round. My boy that came out of Maryland a couple years ago,
Savage,
Darnell Savage. You get that end of the 1st round, 2nd round love for guys like Javon Holland, those type of talents. We were both high on Holland. Great. So Andre Cisco, we're talking about getting picked in the 3rd round. Usually when you get a 3rd round player, and Jacksonville's picking high in each round, so it's pick 65, a really high, 3rd round pick. Dude, I'm thinking about getting the best safety on them, but one of the better safety talents out there, man. And I'm not thinking about picking a safety that has an ACL issue that has a tackling issue.
Yeah, we could have just given them Nazir Adderley for that matter.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying. I just like, not to knock Andre Cisco, I just don't like his game. I mean, he's just not the like physical type of safety that I look for. You know, like honestly, like when I think about free safeties, I almost give up a little bit on the back end to like have the physical presence. You know, I need him to be able to tackle. If he gives up one big play like every 4 games, I'm okay with that. I can live with that. You know, like players are going to get beat. Tom Brady's going to find you like sleeping, you know, every now and again. You know, that franchise quarterback is going to find you sleeping. But if you can do your job and you're consistently good at tackling and you can come up and make plays, that's what I look for. So
yeah, and just to cover some of these late picks, I like Jordan Smith a lot. I had a 4th round is great value for him. Tremendous length. I think upside for days. I think he will find a place on that Jacksonville defense. I like J. Tufele. I think he's going to be a good plug and play. The 2 late round swings on wide receiver. I don't have a lot of notes on Strachan or Camp.
Camp's pretty. I mean, he's a Georgia Tech player. He's athletic as hell.
We can help scout.
Great size, weight.
Yeah, I know Strachan is 6'6", so I mean that's a big frame for Trevor Lawrence to throw to. Overall, what do you give this class? I give it a B-.
I'm honestly. Like because,
I'm at a B because Trevor Lawrence gives it a B. Like I'm not going to give them with Trevor Lawrence with a B-.
Okay, see that's kind of where like I just don't have that like Trevor Lawrence homerism, man. And I'm just going to be real honest, man. I'll give him a C+, and it's not me being a dick. It's just me like I'm not completely in love with Trevor Lawrence's game. I know why he's the number 1 pick, but there's things for me that really just hit that. Love ETN, love Jordan Smith. Not high on Cisco. I mean, you know, Walker Little without the injuries, I love that player. I mean, we've talked about him a lot. Tyson Campbell, I'm not high on. Dude, I mean, I'm looking at the list, man. And, you know, like I said, I love Jordan Smith.
It's a good talent. It's talented.
There's talent. I'm thinking year 1, man, with the first pick in each round of the draft, man, and the amount of picks that they had, if I'm Jacksonville, man, I really feel like I could have hit a grand slam in this draft. And it just, I don't feel like they did that, so I'm giving them a C+, man.
All right, well, if you're going to go C+, I'll stick with my B-, my original pick, because that's where really I was at. Let's move on to Houston.
And I mean, I think a lot of that is indicative to Urban Meyer too. I mean, we got to see how he develops players, you know, and like how men, you know, take to his coaching. I mean, so I guess we're on the Houston Texans, which is not going to be a lot of names.
No, this should be pretty brief. They didn't have a pick till the 3rd round. They took Davis Mills, the quarterback out of Stanford. They also, in the 3rd round, took Nico Collins, receiver from Michigan, Monty Rice in the 3rd round, 3 third-round picks, 4-3 outside linebacker from Georgia, if you ask me. Great steal, Brevin Jordan in the 5th round. And then they took 2 guys. I don't even honestly have notes on them. They took a Wallow.
TCU linebacker.
Garrett Wallow from TCU. I don't think he stood out to me. I don't really remember him. And then we have let's look at this. Roy Lopez.
He's like an undersized 2-down guy.
Okay.
The TCU backer.
It's not very. I knew pretty much all the names drafted this year. I remember that. It's kind of bizarre that they drafted 2 that I didn't know. But what do you think about Houston? They had 2, 4, 6 picks.
All right. So let me
3 rounds.
Let me just be very frank about this, man. I'm just going to give you my grade, and then because honestly, it's an F.
An F.
It's an F. Houston is in trouble. They've been in trouble with asset management under Bill O'Brien. I think we all can agree on that. Not having picks, panicking and drafting Davis Mills. I'm not saying Davis Mills did not have a really great offseason this year, and I'm not saying he didn't, you know, do what he needed to do when he had his time on the field. But I'm not drafting a quarterback 2 picks behind Kellen Mond that honestly had, in my opinion, you know, fringe first-round ability, second-round ability. Clearly, you know, he went in the 3rd early.
Was Davis Mills? Did he come out
Stanford.
as a no? But was he a junior?
Junior.
Man, if he would have stayed next year and had that senior year, he might have been QB1 going in because he actually is a good quarterback. The tape is good.
He's already shown he can't stay healthy. So I mean, what would another injury in college do for him? So I mean, realistically, he maximized what he had. But again, like, dude, I told you all offseason that Houston was going to mismanage this Deshaun Watson situation, and they did. not only did they mismanage the Deshaun Watson situation, they mismanaged. I mean, they've literally gone from mismanaging the whole Bill O'Brien era, like when they had J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney, who we can say whatever about being overrated, but he produced there. And they didn't value re-signing him, and I mean clearly there's a reason he's bouncing around the league now. But I mean he fit there, he fit in what they did.
Yeah.
And it was time for them to kind of retool and do things with Deshaun Watson. But I know we're grading the draft class, man, but I mean I'm just looking at the whole offseason and the whole class and just
the offseason gets an F for sure.
I mean, dude, like I'm looking at Caserio, dude, and
he's got his work cut out for him.
Dude, he just reminds me of 90% of the people that leave the Patriots that just cannot. They're never going to. I mean, one, to replicate what the Patriots have done is to do a one in a million thing. So I'm not comparing that. What I'm saying is they've just the whole situation with this all season. I'm looking at these picks, man. Nico Collins, okay, Michigan. That's a guy we liked.
I like Nico Collins.
That is a guy we like.
I think the league was a little higher on him than I was. He had terrible quarterback play, so
yeah, right.
It's kind of hard to grade the tape. But he does have good tape. Monty Rice is a fine pick. I mean, it doesn't really move the needle much for me. I think when it comes to the linebackers this year, I feel like he was almost just kind of like the best of the rest. I think maybe you think Jabril Cox is still on the board, but they go Monty Rice.
I mean, Brevin Jordan is
definitely the best pick.
He's a pass catching tight end.
He's got a little bit of blocking. He tries to block.
No, he
tries.
He puts in the effort, man. And people could say whatever about namesake, and they're always like, oh, a name always falls because the media is higher on him because of maybe the program, the position.
Yeah.
Brevin Jordan produced, man. He wasn't a superstar.
No.
But he has good tape. I think the issue is, man, is I'm just. Dude, I think about development when I'm grading a draft, and so you drafted Davis Mills, you got Tyrod Taylor, you got the Deshaun Watson mystery, and it's just like, dude.
Oh, I don't think Deshaun Watson's on that team after.
No, I think
the quarterback room is Davis Mills and Tyrod Taylor.
Right. Well, as soon as Deshaun's legal proceedings are up, I'm assuming he's moved. Yeah. So when I'm looking at this class, I'm thinking about the development of what this class can be. And, I mean, realistically, man, it's going to take 4 or 5 years to even know because, honestly, is there a team you think going to do worse than than the Texans next year? I mean, can you look around the NFL and, actually, really say you would put your money on anybody else to do worse outside of, 4 or 5, top players going down? Maybe the Rams if Donald and, Stafford went down?
Even then, I think that they're...
I think they're still better. They're still better. They're still much better coached, I think.
Maybe the Jets if things go horribly wrong and Zach Wilson is not the guy.
If he's the 12 pick rookie season kind of guy, 14 interception guy.
Houston, they have nothing going for them right now. And just think what this draft class would have looked like if they would have moved Watson to Carolina for those 3 firsts and Christian McCaffrey
when they had the chance, or just
just imagine if they would have drafted Justin Fields at 8th or 7th or 8th overall.
They got the highest paid left tackle, second highest paid left tackle in football right now, who's a penalty machine. I mean, dude, third
highest. I think Bakhtiari is number 2 right now.
Might be. It's just what I'm saying is just
pre-snap penalties.
Pre-snap penalties. I don't really believe in their coach very much, and maybe he does have a thing, but I just don't think he has much to work with.
I don't either, and I'm going to give this draft a D. I'm not going to give him an F because I think Brevin Jordan and Nico Collins are not F players. But
I mean, no, I
think this is almost. I think this is a Millen grade.
That's an F.
Okay, that is an F. You're right. This is kind of a Millen grade.
I mean, dude, Davis Mills. If he's healthy and he can come out and show something, because, dude, I see no way Davis Mills is not on the field this year.
I agree.
Because
you got to know what you have because Houston is going to be drafting a quarterback
because they are in line for the top overall pick next year. So being in line for the top overall pick, if Davis Mills can come out and win you 2 or 3 games late in the season, man, then maybe you got something. Because I'm looking at the state of that roster, and then it's okay,
then maybe you get Thibodeau.
Let me just be real. Davis Mills comes out here and gets on that field with 7 or 8 games, 9 games to play in the season. If he wins 3 of those, this draft grade is a C automatically because Davis Mills. That means that kid has something really special. If he can do that, if he wins 3 games with this team, I would really say that he really took control of a team that is really not. I just don't know what they got. I mean, I don't see leadership. J.J. Watt is gone. Deshaun Watson is about to be gone. I mean, everything is dude. The recipe for success is too much turnover, too much change, too many names changing, leaders gone, no leaders.
I mean,
who's your captains? Laremy Tunsil with his gas mask. Like
Laremy Tunsil. Can they bring Brian Cushing out of retirement? Maybe.
I mean, dude, that's what.
Who did they sign in free agency? Because they signed everybody. They signed a bunch of no names.
The ghost of D-Hop, like maybe Andre Johnson will come back. I think he's still got some gas in the tank.
I bet you Frank Gore is running the ball for this team by week 8.
I was watching some Andre Johnson workout videos earlier this week. I mean, he's still got it.
Yeah, he would probably be wide receiver 1 in that room.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
All right. I don't think we need to spend more time on Houston. This is a very interesting conversation, I think, here about Indianapolis because they had a very interesting class, in my opinion. I'm going to read their class, starting with Kwity Paye, defensive end or defensive lineman, edge, wherever you want to call him, from Michigan. Dale Ondidabingo. I don't think I pronounced that right, but I'm just going to call him Dale. That's what I've been calling him the whole time. Kyle Granson's listed as a fullback from SMU, but he definitely played tight end. Sean Davis, the safety from Florida. Will Fries, offensive tackle from Penn State. And Sam Ehlinger, quarterback from Texas. Also, rest in peace to Sam Ehlinger's brother.
Yeah,
did you hear about that? He passed away a couple days ago.
Him, Colt Brennan died.
And Colt Brennan,
the old Washington miracle man in the preseason. He was fun to watch in Hawaii, man. One of the most fun quarterbacks in college football is in that era.
Yeah,
back in Boise State was.
Rest in peace to those guys. What do you think about this class? What do you think about not addressing left tackle?
Okay. So
and then signing Eric Fisher.
Okay, so here's
still injured.
Here's my thing with the Colts. I love generally what they do. They build from the trenches out. They have a formula for success. They got Carson Wentz, who needs protection, holds the ball a little long. That was what made Carson Wentz good. He made the magical plays back in Philly before his injuries started piling up.
Yeah.
Kwity Paye, the person, love him. Kwity Paye on my top 50 was probably I put him
like at 34, I think.
Dude, no, I he was like 50, and I put him on there because because I love the person, and I think he has all the raw talent. I think Kwity Paye with proper coaching is a beast. I'm just looking at this haul, man, and again. When I'm looking at teams, this division is crazy because there are themes in divisions, and everything I'm seeing from this division so far, outside of Trevor Lawrence and ETN, dude, it's kind of just really. Now, I will give the Colts the benefit of the doubt because they have an identity. I think they know what they want. They have a good developing young wide receiver on that roster. Pittman,
okay.
They needed a little bit of safety help. Sean Davis is probably not the guy, but they got him in the 5th round, and honestly, man, he made some plays in Florida's defense. I think he was a little bit underrated. I think 5th round is probably about where he was actually rated. But for a safety, that's not bad. I just think they went, again, theme of this division, a little bit early on players that, I think there's just a different route for players that I would have taken. Now, I do like Sam Ehlinger. I like him with Frank Wright.
I like that pick. I think that might be my favorite pick of their class.
Right, dude. Honestly,
I like Kwity. I'm gonna give my 2 cents on Kwity Paye real quick. I like Kwity Paye. I like him a lot because I'm a Michigan fan, so I naturally just have a natural love for him. But I don't think he's going to fit in the Colts defense, to be honest. I think Colts, if they're going to run the 4-3, and I think that they drafted Deo, who's 6'6" and weighs about probably 380,000 pounds, and you have him with DeForest Buckner, that's going to have Paye at the edge. And I don't think Paye is a 3-4 defensive or 4-3 defensive end. I comped him throughout this process to Cam Jordan. That's who he reminds me of on his best tape. And so I'm maybe not super high on the Kwity Paye pick. I definitely like the player, and I think maybe he even might produce there depending on where they use him. Kyle Granson, I don't really understand why they picked a tight end, fullback kind of convert player when they needed a left tackle. And they were Hudson was still there.
Yes, I was about to say
there were still some tackles there. Stone Forsythe was there. They reached, I think, and I don't really think this class makes them any better as a team, to be honest. I think
it's a lot of development.
I feel like they got stronger where they were already strong.
I mean, it's a lot of development. And I mean, okay, what did we talk about going into this draft? What was the weakness of this class?
Interior defensive line.
Definitely. And edge. As far as this definitely was not there's not many Joey Bosa, Montez Sweat, Josh Allen classes. Right. I'm not comparing it to that, but what I'm saying is edge, tight end, those were definitely weak. Yes, you had Pitts, but Pitts is all-world pass catcher regardless of position. He's just a freak. But it was Pitts and then the field.
Yeah.
Sorry for the field that you're being compared to, Pitts because he's a generational talent, but it's realistically, it's almost kind of like last year with Chase Young and then the field at the edge rusher position.
Right.
So when I'm thinking about this class, I'm okay, well, edge wasn't premier. There was a lot of boom and bust kind of guys. They got one of the main ones with their first pick. And then I'm looking at their second pick, and he's huge, coming off an Achilles injury. So, I mean, what's his explosion level coming back off that injury from Vanderbilt? I mean, he had good tape at Vandy, though. I'll give him that. Okay, then I'm looking at tight end from SMU. Okay, so we're talking about an SMU going from a smaller school program, kind of into an uptick in talent, and he's a converted, fullback.
Right.
So then we get to I said, Sean Davis. I mean, that's your first real player that I've seen up against higher competition that really actually produced halfway decent to the roster. Sam Ehlinger, same thing. I like him with Frank Reich because I think Frank Reich can actually. I like Sam Ehlinger's skill set. I think he got kind of robbed in the Senior Bowl because I think he deserved another quarter over some of them other guys. Honestly, I like Sam Ehlinger's tools. So for the 6th round to take a flyer on him, I really like.
I have no problem with the Ehlinger pick.
And then they got a real athletic wide receiver from a small school program, and then they ended up with a whole line. But I mean, you're telling me that in the 7th round was the first moment you decided, hey, we need O-line talent?
Yeah, and they really didn't address skill position either.
No, they didn't. Like I said, I mean, Michael Pittman needs kind of a run to me because T.Y. Hilton's not signed.
Yeah, Paris Campbell's been a little underwhelming, if you ask me.
I mean, he's definitely been hurt.
Yeah.
What
do you give this class?
I'm at a C.
I just had a regular C.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to give them a C, and honestly, man, I feel like I'm over here being the judge of the executioner's block or something. But I'm just not. I mean, nobody in this class so far in this division has shown me anything that I'm
No, and I think we saved the best for last because this class I'm actually extremely high on. The Titans. I think if we want to move to them,
now we can get to dog.
I'll read down the picks. Number 21 overall, they got Caleb Farley. 2nd round, they got Dylan Radins. The 3rd round, they got Elijah Molden, wide receiver or corner from Washington. 4th round, they got Des Fitzpatrick, wide receiver from Louisville. Rashad Weaver from Pitt. And then 6th round, they got Racy McMath, the wide receiver from LSU. And then they got the safety from Oregon, Brady Breeze. Let's just start with the first 5 picks, because I want to read these names down again. Caleb Farley, Dylan Radins, Elijah Molden, Des Fitzpatrick, Rashad Weaver.
You forgot Monty Rice.
Did I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Here we go. First off, Caleb Farley without the back surgery, best corner in the class. I think we both liked him. I mean, you definitely. You were definitely on
Horn.
You were definitely on Horn.
I was. Still am.
I'm just a VTech guy. So Caleb Farley, as a defensive back coming out of VTech. If he just didn't have all this bad luck, man, he would be my guy.
Jeffrey Simmons and Caleb Farley, probably 2 of my favorite players in their respective class with the injuries.
Right.
Jeffrey Simmons was my probably 3rd overall ranked player in that class that they got him, and
they clearly have a good masseuse down there because honestly, it's working for him so far.
I don't think.
Deshaun Watson. About him in the division. No pun intended. Don't send the masseuse there.
Yeah. So, what do you think about this class? Break it down. What do you really think?
Okay, man. Farley at pick 22. that's like an A+ pick for me.
Yeah.
Dylan Radins is, a little bit undersized, but dude, Dylan Radins is a beast. I think he's definitely.
He's going to play right because they have who do they have? Taylor Lewan at left tackle.
Yeah. So I mean, dude, Tennessee has been, in my opinion, picking tough football players for the last few years, and I mean, dude, Caleb Farley, for whatever his injury, dude, that dude is a dog. Tough football player. I'm rolling with Caleb Farley if I'm them. I mean, dude, I love the pick. Then Dylan Radins, again, another tough football player. Monty Rice, what do you say about him? Tough football player. Elijah Molden, dog.
That's my favorite slot corner in this class by a mile.
And then Des Fitzpatrick, dude, another dog, man. Dude, I love these picks. I love these picks.
And then they got Rashad Weaver.
Dude, so I get to, at least I get to, say something positive about this division. Right, Rashad Weaver, dude. That's what I'm saying, man. In the 4th round, you got Rashad Weaver. I mean, maybe we were a little bit higher on him, the consensus clearly was about as far as where we went, man. But players fall all the time. Rashad Weaver was a beast.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Safety from Oregon, and I mean, whatever. 6 round players, Brady Breeze, he gets caught staring. Dude, he's a 6-round player. If he becomes a good special teams player, he contributes on special teams. I mean, that's a goal. That's you hit your 6th-round pick.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not going to knock the guy. I got nothing bad to say about him. Like I said, he gets caught peeking on film.
Yeah.
Dude, this top 5 is actually this top 6. The top 6 in the first 4 rounds. The Tennessee
I would be surprised if all these players see the field within the next 2 years.
Oh, they're definitely all in rotation this year. I mean, honestly, dude, Rashad Weaver, if there is a weakness on the Texans, it's edge. Titans, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Rashad Weaver can see the field.
Yeah.
Des Fitzpatrick, they definitely needed somebody to go opposite of A.J. Brown. Elijah Molden, he's definitely seeing the field.
Instinctual slot corner.
Right.
Could play safety if you want him.
And dude, you can honestly mix and match Elijah Molden and Caleb Farley. If you want to travel Caleb Farley on somebody and they go into a slot, you have no problem throwing Elijah Molden out wide. He can play outside. Dude, his scheme versatility. Both of their scheme versatility is beast, dude. Honestly, man, I love what they did. I mean, I'm giving them an A.
I'll give them an A-. I think maybe the last couple picks maybe could be a little bit better.
But we're talking about 6
I can't give
rounds.
everyone an A. I can't give everyone an A.
But I've really been dropping the hatchet today, so maybe
we've been pretty brutal. We've been giving out C's and D's
and an F. I gave an F.
Millens, Kielbasa,
right? Millen Kielbasa grade, dude. That's got I feel like a dick, but I mean. The truth is this, dude. If I'm looking at this class, they have a ton of picks in the first 4 rounds, and I love the names, I love the players, and it's not just namesake value. Des Fitzpatrick is not a household name. No. Elijah Molden was not a household name until people really started breaking down the tape, and later in the season, in the off season. Monty Rice, dude, that's not a guy that anybody was considering, a top, interior linebacker player. But dude, Monty Rice is a dog inside. He's got some coverage lapses, but what linebacker doesn't? I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, I like the Radins pick a lot too. I think it's a fun pick. I think I had a first round grade on him.
He showed out in the Senior Bowl. He definitely gave you glimpses of I can compete up to the talent level. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, it wasn't something that you look like. When you watch North Dakota State, he jumps off. So, I mean, when you're scouting a smaller school, you got to see the guy jump off the tape. He's got to look like the senior playing against the freshman squad.
Right.
And then Caleb Farley, killed it.
Okay, so if you had to rank your classes, where would you go? I'll go first. I'm going to go Tennessee, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, Houston. And I think that's pretty easy for me. From top to bottom.
Yeah, dude, there's no way I could put Trevor Lawrence down as the 3rd team, regardless of how I graded them, honestly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of boom or bust on the Colts, and while I do respect that coaching staff, and I do expect them to develop their players, they've had issues in the past developing these positions. And these were positions of need for them, the edge, and, but, again, you don't just draft an edge because you need an edge. If you need an edge, it's probably because you need a dominating edge. So unless you're getting a dominant edge, you don't really want to just keep throwing other edge bodies out there. You're yes, it's great for a rotation, But, dude, if you don't have that dominant guy that can take off the double teams, like, realistically, man, like, they can scheme you guys out. Like, they can, this guy power rushes, he has a good explosion off the jump, but he's got no kind of finesse move or no swim move inside. Oh, if you chip him with a running back, he's done. So, I mean, the power move is pretty much out of it. Like offensive coordinators will scheme you out, and they will work that offensive line to, like, scheme these type of players out. So, I'm definitely going Jacksonville second behind Tennessee. Indianapolis, and then like I said, man, it's so much is dependent for the Texans on Davis Mills, and honestly for this coaching staff to be able to just
poor quarterback,
just to make some kind of continuity out of this. I mean, honestly, dude, like I would not be surprised to see Caserio fired in the next 2 years.
And I think Davis Mills had no communication with the Houston Texans prior to them drafting him.
That's even worse, man. That's what, dude. I just, dude, like honestly, like
it's like speed dating.
Like, dude. Every time I've heard Caserio open his mouth, man, and I just see the things that are coming out. Like, dude, like everything that's happening in Houston. These type of things used to happen to the Washington football team all the time when they were the Redskins. And honestly, like, you just always get these reports. Players were always unhappy. Players were always in the media. Like, dude, like, the coach is always in the media explaining what to do. Like, not talking about, we're just going to try to better our football team or whatever. I mean, the coach at his interview was, like, talking about how Bill Parcells called him, like, like, unreliable or something. Like, he was, like, basically a liar or something like that because he didn't commit to his program or something. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what Houston's doing, and I just, sorry, Houston fans.
I don't think Houston knows either. I think they're just winging it.
It's been a rough year for 2 years for Houston, man. You got some stealing signs on the baseball team, and
James Harden and Russell Westbrook out the door.
All the pipes froze this winter. They were like freaking like locked in, and actually had a winter storm.
Yeah.
It was 36 degrees, and things were freezing down there. So I mean, it's just a weird time in Houston right now. I really hope for the people of Houston, man, that
change that code books and adjust their frost lines.
I mean, honestly, man, dude, hopefully some brighter days are to come. Maybe I'm sure there'll be a quarterback next year that they can get excited about, or maybe they actually kind of take a page out of the Detroit book. Where it's like, what, we're going to get tougher, man. We're going to go Thibodeau next year, and like honestly, Thibodeau's a dog. Like you want to jumpstart a franchise, man. Like they went Mario Williams first, they went Jadeveon Clowney. I think they'll get re-blessed with that more Mario Williams if they go Thibodeau next year.
Yeah.
Like don't rush the quarterback pick. It's like you don't always want to rush the quarterback selection.
Yeah. Alrighty, well I think that's a wrap. We'll come at you later with another draft class or another division.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Peace.
Later.